heater or air conditioner? Yeah, I feel like it's
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode with Building Empires Network. Today we got Mo, Mr. Mo Money.
Hello, guys.
Money.
What's going on? What's
And-
going on? Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yes.
and myself, Andrea Cruz, and Christina Franco.
Mo problems.
No problem.
And today we're gonna, talk to Mo about how he does his motels.
Mhm.
He does a lot of hotels, and he's gonna go over how he analyzes them and what he looks at and how the process goes there. And also, he's gonna talk about how he got started in real estate. So, Mo, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me. Basically, my name is Mohammed. Mo. I go by Mo. I've been in the Houston market. I'm originally a Philly guy. A lot of my
Yay,
Accent.
Philly.
I love the
Yeah.
accent.
I got the accent. Yeah, I got the Philly accent.
Some
So
water.
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 Yeah. So I touched down in Houston, moved here in 2015, started my business right away around 2016, and it took me a little while to figure out real estate because I was doing real estate since 2006. And in Philly, before cold calling was a thing, I used to literally cold call from back in the day before anybody did it. And then when I came here, Houston was a direct mail postcard kind of
Mhm.
investment city. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So shout out to my man Marlon Wilson. Marlon Wilson is one of my number one mentors that I've had when I came
Nice.
to Houston. Marlon put me on how to like the zip codes, which hoods to go after. Because at first I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going into the suburb. I live in Cinco Ranch, Katy,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, I want to do business where I am, and
Yeah.
that's not really where a lot of motivated sellers are. There
Yeah.
is, but not. So Marlon actually was big shout out to Marlon. He put me on different zip codes that we specialize in now, like your 77016, 28, 29s, Acres Homes, all around.
Mhm.
And then I started doing a lot of direct mail. And as you guys know, direct mail gives you results,
Yeah.
but it's expensive.
It is
Mhm.
Very expensive. And it sucks when you send out 10,000, 20,000 postcards and you only get like 40 cursing phone calls and like one or two deals.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I was like, maybe cold calling will still work in Houston. And that's when I started doing cold calling. So I started doing it actually myself first. And then once I was doing it literally myself. And then after that, I hired a VA because in Philly, I just hired like my friends and people that I knew to come in my office and just cold call. So virtual assistants was a new thing to me back in 2016. And it was a huge success. I literally was only cold calling the tax auction list.
Yeah.
Strictly the tax auction list back then was like 200 to 300 properties every single month. We used to get that list, skip trace it, call it, and I was getting 4, 5, 6 deals a month just strictly for one VA.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
What
one
year was
list,
that?
2016 to 17,
Yeah.
where nobody knew about
Yeah.
cold calling, tax delinquents, or even a tax auction list.
Right.
And I actually even hired another person to go and door knock some of these lists that we were getting 4, 5, 6 deals. And then, as you guys know, when you get a tax delinquent or a tax auction, it's like hurry, close.
Mhm.
So that's where wholetailing comes in. So there was really no time to get a deal under contract, and you literally have. So Linebarger, as you guys know, is the attorney for the city of Houston,
Right.
Harris County. So then I learned that you can stop these sales by sending in a contract if you're under contract. But before the competition, as you guys know, the most competitive, Christina will tell you, the most competitive list to call is the tax auction list. Do we call it? Still, we do.
Yeah.
But everybody and their grandma is calling and texting and door knocking and mailing this list right now. So we still get deals from it, but we don't just focus on that deal now. You know what I mean? So wholetailing came in on part because it was a situation where I would get a contract. 60 to 70% of these deals were airship deals.
Yeah.
So you got to work on an airship. Sometimes I used to close before we clear title. Then I learned you don't want to do that. because one air misses and then you
Yeah.
pay the taxes and then we stopped doing that. So I started saying, I want to get rid of the seller, control the property, and go back and go on the MLS. And I'm a lot of like Andrea and one of the biggest wholesalers in Houston. A lot of big companies have email blasts, and I was never into blasting and building a buyer's list. And maybe it's the wrong way, but I was just never into it. And then I started closing on these deals, taking out the trash, clean it up, cut the grass. I got a crew that we spend on average about $1,000 to $2,000 to go in there and just clean up the house and put it on the MLS.
Yeah.
And then once we put it on the MLS, we were selling them real quick because there's tons of buyers on the MLS.
Yeah.
MLS is a very, 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 very valuable tool if you don't have that email blast. So I did it 1 time, 2 times, and I think, if I average out, I would say last year, we probably did about 35 to 38 deals. Maybe 2 or 3 of them were assignments.
Wow.
Most of them are hotels. We close on them. Thank God I'm very fortunate that I use my own funds to close on a lot of these deals. So it's quick. I control them. I get rid of the seller. And sometimes we do lease backs with these people.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks. Lease backs are very, very.
I'm doing one when I like that right now.
Yeah. With lease backs, I try to do no more. I got one right now in Lamar that we're doing 60 days. But my little thing that I do with lease backs, we hold 50% of proceeds.
Oh, wow.
Not no 3,000, no 4,000. 50%.
5,000.
No.
Yeah.
I buy deals from wholesalers and they say, "Oh, we're doing a lease back. We're holding 5,000." I say, "No, it's not enough motivation for them to leave."
Right.
I want 50% either held in escrow with the title company, or a lot of times we get it as credit and we do a personal lease back and we hold the money. So when they tell us, "Here's the keys," we tell them, "Here's your 20 grand, your 30 grand. I've held.
Oh, but you hold it from the wholesaler or from the seller?
From the seller.
Oh,
When I buy from wholesalers, everybody's scared to ask for 50%. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, I only put 5,000, so you guys can come with me.
Because most of my deals, and I won't wholetail it till I get rid of the guy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I'll wait the 60 days, 90 days. Like I'm doing right now in Lamar. She wanted 90, and I was like, "No, I can't do 90." I presented to her. I was like 30. She's like, "No," and it's an older lady, so we said no problem, 60 days. And we're holding 50% of the proceeds. She's fine with it.
Yeah.
I think we're holding 30, and she gets 30, and she needs that 30 to find a new place, to do everything. And we're actually even going to help her with the moving. I'm actually going to pay for the moving company to get, because this lady has tons of jobs. So going back, so I love to control the deal, get rid of the seller, and then get as much as possible. Like when people complain, they say, "Oh, these guys are selling." I sell mine at a top.
Yeah.
That's why he's my
Top
kind of guy. We get a lot of
top
stuff,
price.
dude.
Like a lot of guys be like, "Mo, we don't see your deals. You don't see your
You
blast.
don't need to.
I don't want to sell to you guys."
Hey, you'll see it on the MLS.
Yes,
There you go.
we don't. I have a handful of investors that I work with that they buy from us. Some owner financing guys, some one of my guys we sell to, and I sell a lot of, we sell easy, I would say 8 to 10 houses to each of these buyers a year.
Yeah.
I'll send it to them. If they don't like it, shout out to my other person is Pablo Luna. Pablo sells a lot of our deals as well.
Oh my God.
Hit up Pablo. Hit up Pablo. Yes, Pablo, if you're watching this, thank you. Actually,
Paulo sells a lot of my deals.
Yeah.
Pablo just blasted one of ours yesterday. So why do I go to Pablo versus listing it? Just how comfortable we feel with
The
deal.
relationship.
Yeah. Relationship, you
It's
know what I mean?
everything.
Well, and then he has buyers that buy a little higher.
Oh, yes.
He goes to retail, so I sent him some of mine, and it's easy process.
No, Pablo, has probably the biggest list, I think, from what I've heard. And Pablo is one of the most professional.
Very
professional.
Nikki.
Him
Shout
and
out to
Nikki.
Pablo and
And
Nikki.
Nikki, yes.
Love you guys.
Yes. They're very professional. If they can't sell it, sometimes I'll list it on MLS higher than Pablo's price, and then we let them. And sometimes the MLS goes, and sometimes
Yeah, we've done that too.
so actually it helps them.
And we're like with Pablo the MLS, and we're gonna find the buyer.
Yes. So I should I guess, gather my own email, but I
don't think so.
No.
The way the market's going, you want your
market.
buyers to be retail buyers.
You want retail.
That's who I'm targeting now as well. So we're doing a lot of networking with realtors because they have the retail buyers, you know?
Yeah.
So because there's a lot of deals that we get in our CRM, and like 80% of these deals, they were like market value or close to market value.
Yeah.
So that's where I connect with other realtors to do that. But
yeah, and I work with a couple of realtors that buy from us, and we pay them their 3%, no problem. You know what I mean? And then we we'll send them sometimes, like, because every realtor has their pocket 1 or 2, 3 buyers.
Yeah.
And and sometimes like our typical buyer is your Spanish buyer that buys 2 to 3 houses a year.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell to the guy that buys 60 or 70 houses. I'm friends with on Facebook. You guys, I love you guys. I want to share content with you, but you want it at my price, or I mean at a good price. But I want to sell to the guy that's only doing 2 or 3 houses.
It's like you asking that the guy was like, "Hey, do you do investor friendly?"
I know, investor friendly. You run, I run.
We want, and the market right now. I mean, take advantage of the market. I'm selling houses that are falling down in the hood now for $120 to $100. I mean, $110,000, $120,000, and it's. I used to sell these rehabbed 4 or 5 years ago at 120. Like, I'll give you an example. Scenic Woods in 77016 subdivision. I used to sell houses there, rehabbed. My first house actually was for $90,000. I bought it for 30, spent 25, and I sold it for 90 in Scenic Woods. Now we're buying them messed up at 80 to 100, and selling them at 120 to 130 to 140, even 150. I've sold in Scenic Woods, and these guys are buying it and still ARVs around 200. So it's crazy what's going on in the market. Take advantage of it.
It is.
How long will it last? Nobody knows.
I know.
Inventory is very low. It's going to go up. Interest rates are going up. I would say maybe the next year. Who knows? I mean, I'm no analyst, but enjoy the wave while it's here.
Enjoy the wave.
We just listed one of our hotels, and like on the first day, over $15,000 over asking price.
Wow.
And one of the things that I wanted to also discuss, because we were talking, and him and I hotel very, very differently. Like, he doesn't even do anything. He goes for the ugly houses. I like the pretty brick homes, and then just kind of put lipstick on the pig and put them for ARV. So him as referring as hotel is just like closing on a deal and just putting it on the market. For me, it's taking like a house and fixing it and just selling it close to ARV or at ARV. So there's all kinds of ways to do it. But like he said, if you close on it, the numbers are there. You're gonna not leave any money on the table if you put it on the market. You're gonna sell it as the most that you can sell it for. So that's one of the, I know a lot of people do wholesaling, but if you can close on it, put it on the market, you'd be surprised with how much more you can make.
Oh yeah. There's definitely money to be made. And I would say another thing is like 25 to 30% of my business comes from buying from other wholesalers that we pay 30%. I mean, 20, 30, 40, 50. I've paid up to 80 to 100 grand on an assignment fee. And I still buy it, and we still make our money. I mean, I get wholesalers all the time that sell me, and they're like scared. They want to double close and whatever. And I'm like, what are you trying to do that for? He's like, oh, I want to hide my fee. I was like, listen, I can care less what you made. I think on Monday we closed one, or I'm sorry, Friday. Friday we closed one from a guy, and he made, I think, 25 grand. And I didn't think nothing. It was his first deal. Congrats to him. But
that was nice for first deal.
For first deal, So we will
2,500.
Exactly.
I know mine was 3,000, like in the days of cotton. But it's
so
different.
Hoteling to me is the easiest and laziest way to make a lot of money. I rehabbed. My God, in the past, I've been in business since 2006. I would say 200-300 houses. I was maybe 200 houses or so. When I came to Houston, I was rehabbing. But then till this day, when we get a deal, I always analyze it. And I say, man, I want to get back to rehabbing. And I say, all right, if I can make, let's say, 75 grand rehabbing this house. But then you got to think about it. You got to put in money, and you got to wait.
Right.
2 to 3 months. You gotta
Right.
at least wait the 60 days or whatever it is for seasoning, and then you got to deal with contractors and everything. I'm not saying that's bad, but
It is bad.
it is bad.
It
but-
is bad.
So I compare and I say making, let's say, 70 grand in 3 to 4 months versus making 45 or 50 in a week or two.
In a week or
Yeah.
two.
I'll take the week or two.
I know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. And listen,
Yeah.
it's not always like bubblegum and rainbows. I've sold hotels and I've made 1,000.
Yeah.
Or my negative, like my biggest loss in a hotel was a $10,000 deal because it was my fault. I bought the wrong house.
Mm.
Ended up being a house all the way in the back that was landlocked. Long story.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
It was my fault, but I lost on it. So, but most of the time, you're making, like, our average size is about $24,000.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hotels
20,
for sure.
24 grand.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, hotel works in my
I
business.
love it. Yeah, and we do hotels like in Dallas too. We don't even look at the properties.
Oh wow.
We close on them
Mhm.
and we just put it on the market. We did one and we made like over 60,000 and we didn't even clean it out. We didn't do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just closed on it, put it on the market. I didn't even go in this house, and
Wow.
it was a quick 60K. So I love hoteling. I love it, and that's why I always go after.
And you
that.
guys are doing different cities and everything now. right?
Yeah. If the numbers make sense, we just close on it and just put it on the market.
Yeah.
And like you said, you got to take advantage of what the market is doing right now because
Yeah.
like everything is selling.
Yeah, and materials really going up. I mean, what used to be, say, just for numbers' sake, used to be $100 a square foot is now like $150.
Yeah.
It's really taken a big turn,
Yeah.
and the material is short. So you might need a power beam, and in order to get this house done, when you're actually rehabbing, you're going to get stuck. So right now, it's because there's no power beams. They're like
Really?
real shy right
Wow.
now. So basically, with that being
so that
said,
means they're gonna be putting something else under there.
there you go. So I've learned to take a switch on the hotel
Oh, wow.
because of the fact that I used to like, oh my God, I want to show everybody what I'm doing with this and make it so pretty. And nah.
Hey, I'm like,
Not anymore.
Christina, come see what I do with mine.
Yeah. Andrea was like, come
There's
look, girl,
nothing,
just
nothing.
paint this, that, and
Nothing.
clean it and put it on there. I was like, well, okay. But those weren't options in our days.
No.
Those weren't
You had to
options.
rehab.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to rehab. You had to make it to where it would pass an inspection, all kinds of stuff. And now it's like, just clean it up and somebody's going to buy it the way they're going to buy it.
Oh yeah.
FHA, I don't really do. Sorry, peeps. We don't sell to
I
the
never sold to
FHA
an
buyer.
Really?
FHA
I
buyer.
sold a lot of it.
Really?
I know.
Like
I don't
majority
even
of the
keep them
time.
that long.
No, that's the thing.
I
It's
don't
the
keep them that
time.
long.
It's the
You have to have
inspection.
90 days or at least only
Yeah.
90,
60
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
90.
So we're looking more for somebody just approved and conventional. Let's get it.
Yeah, and that I will tell you guys. So when you guys do close on a house,
Mm-hmm.
FHA, you have to own the house for at least
91 days.
90.
Yeah,
days.
and then another thing too, I just found this out because I used to sell to Open Door.
Mm-hmm.
Open Door too. Now you have to own it for at least 60 days.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like I sold them our last house, and they paid $10,000 over asking price.
Wow.
But now they're like going low on the offers now, and now you
Yeah.
have to own it longer. I think they kind of got a
Because they've
little-
been
they
buying
were-
so
They
hard.
have
Yeah.
been. I was.
It's
enjoying
got to
it.
stop. I mean, I
Yeah.
know. Like I've seen some of their for sales because what they're doing is they're literally going in there and making their own comp.
Yeah.
They going in
My phone's like,
subdivision.
amen.
Yeah. Take a moment for a little prayer.
Yeah.
But no, that's what they're doing. Is they're going to an area and they're buying 5, 7, 8 houses and in a subdivision and they're selling them. But I've seen some of them what they've bought them versus what they sold them. There's no profit.
I
Some.
don't see how.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know
there's
how
not
they're
a
making
lot.
money,
Okay.
but I think that little wagon will probably stop for a while. And
Well,
I've
it
heard a
kind
lot
of
of
did
people.
already. It did
Yeah.
because I mean I won't set Open Door anymore, and they were like my go-tos because they were easy, it was
Mhm.
fast.
Yeah.
So now now you have to own it for 90 days or 60 days, I believe.
No.
See that about
So it's not like it was before.
Yeah.
FHA, when I did a lot of rehabs with FHA, because like I said, my niche areas were 016, 028, 029, 88, 78.
I
These
got one in 088, I'll show you.
No, buy it. Buy it. Look at it. These areas, I felt like the buyers were mainly FHA. This was back in 16 and 17.
Yeah.
So like 120, 130. I mean, the most expensive house I was selling back then was like 100, $130,000 to $140,000, and we had nothing but FHA buyers, so it was like a given. So what I used to do is I used to buy the house and not start the rehab till like a month and a half later, because my guys used to go in there and bang it out in like a month or less.
Right.
But you don't want to have a house sitting for 2 months fixed up in the hood somewhere.
No.
It'll be stripped down. No. So I used to have a thing where I used to close on it, and then after we closed on it, we would wait about a month to a month and a half, and then my guys would go in, because I learned the hard way, and I never knew, because when I used to live in Philly, all my rehabs were high-end rehabs. I never worked with FHA, and I never knew that FHA was a 90-day rule thing. Till I had a house, I fixed it up. It was an 016. I put it on the market 2 weeks later, literally like in 3 weeks from the day I bought it till the day I fixed it, I rehabbed it. It was on sale. Goes in the market. First day, we get a contract. So the agent calls me up and he's like, "You just bought this house?" I was like, "Yeah, we did." I was like, "What's the problem?" He's like, "You can't. This is FHA." And he had to explain it to me. I was like, "No, this is no way." So then I went to a couple of my boys, Marlon and Sine, these guys. And they're like, "Yeah, man, you got to wait 90 days. And I was like, "Oh, the hell with FHA." And that's when my rehabbing machine started going down. And when I started finding it out, and I was like, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
But then, I mean, at that time, wholetailing was still good, but not as profitable as it is now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of times where I've compared them, rehabbing versus wholetailing. And they're like, I'm talking about like minus your time is never the same. But if I can make 10,000 or 15,000, even 20,000 less and get paid in a week or two versus 3 to 4 months, I'm going that route. I'm going that route. And it's a lazy way of making money.
But I'm actually I did a flip, with my husband. Well, he's the one who really did it because he wanted to do it. And in between he was in there, I did like 2 hotels and I was already buying the third one. And then we were still stuck in that one flip. But I wanted to kind of show him, I'm like, this is why I don't do flips. And if you ask me, I think it's like so dumb to do that because and like on these houses that I buy, I kid you not, I spent like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I leave it very basic, and I'm selling them ARV. You know, and then you have other people that like to put countertops, and new floors,
$10,000 refrigerators.
Man, I get my refrigerators at freaking Facebook for like $200.
Write it down.
For $50.
Write it down.
Like people want to get the same brand of refrigerator. I'm like, dude, if it's just stainless steel, I'm buying it $50. I get a stove for $100. Hey, if you're not working the next
her garage is full of appliances saving for her hotel.
So seriously, but like people go and expend so much money and they're all like proud of it. I'm like, they're missing the picture.
And I'll tell you with that, what she's saying, so it doesn't offend some of the flippers. I'm a flipper.
Flipping army gonna come at you now.
Yeah, I'm a flipper. Yeah, I'm a flipper, and I'll say the numbers look good. Oh, I bought it for $198. I'm flipping it at the end, $1.2 million. How long did you hold it? What was your variance? What did you put in it? How long did you hold it? If you had any holding costs. You want to be in and out. You want to find people that do
headaches.
Yeah, transitional funding. You got to get all that stuff together. And people do not have a plan in place, meaning the
budget.
My Blue's Clues pad. I write it all down and all the way down to the end, where I'm going to have a realtor fee, my holding cost fee, because I didn't do that.
Don't believe the hype sometimes.
Yeah, no.
HGTV, all that crap.
No, it isn't what it is. And when you have holding cost, COVID, there's so many unexpected things that if we were flippers, we weren't able to go and fix anything. So nobody was able to really go and fix things the way they needed to or go get permits and all this stuff. But if you were hoteling,
it
didn't stop you.
It
didn't stop you.
In and out. Like, I mean, there's been some that within a month of everything closing. And the good thing is, like, the lender I have, he charges me, it's 14%,
Yeah.
but 14% and no points, and within a month or so, that's
Yeah.
nothing. It's like
Yeah.
whatever, 1,000 or something.
$1,000,
Yeah. And you want to make sure you're getting something daily. Like it's not daily money that it's not, and people think, oh, I got 5-6 contracts. I got 5 contracts yesterday and one just a minute ago. But the thing is that these deals close 15 to 30 days later, unless you have a cash buyer. When you're getting the hard money, still a week.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, damn, today I closed 5 deals. I locked up $100,000. No, you didn't.
It ain't closed yet.
It ain't closed yet.
Don't believe the hype.
It ain't a deal.
It ain't a deal until it's funded.
I know, in the bank account. I want to see it in my account.
Yeah, that's when it's funded. But what they're saying right now with the hotel, it's a big respect game because you're in and out, and that's how you want to be. You don't want to. You don't want to go, to the restaurant and wait for them to go find the cow. You want to make sure it's already there. You're in, you're out. Everything is already in place. It's okay to JV, co-wholesale. I like working like Mo does. We work a lot alike with the co-wholesale because somebody will bring me some, say, hey, I don't have a buyer. I do, and it's okay.
Right here.
Yeah. Like Andrea, she had 150. I got 156, got the loan, and it just worked. And now we're refined. So it's like, it's that kind of, you just have to have a strategic niche and a game, and you can do everything, but you can't do everything in one day. You have to kind of spread it out. A lot of people tell me, you got so many damn businesses. How in the hell do you do it? Because this day, Wednesday, is Andrea's day, or it's a meeting day. Yeah, it's a meeting day. And we'll have
schedule. Mo day.
Yeah, today's Mo day.
Today's Mo day.
Yeah, we talking about Mo money today.
Mo day.
Hey, but he's bringing you Mo money because he's giving you Mo options on your deals. So yeah, that's Mo money. Yeah, don't let me get ghetto. Sorry, I go ghetto 0 to 60. Sorry. Yeah, but no, seriously. When you look at things, people kind of get sour. Like, man, they think they got it. No, I mean we're a plethora of information. We don't mind sharing. The thing is are you open to listen? Everybody, like, I'm an old geezer, so I go out there and I have my old thing. Mo, the other day, I showed him the foreclosure list. I do my own thing with it. He knew what I was doing with it, and then it was like, yep, that's what I do. He was like, what the hell don't you do? But it's just that the way I do it is I just make a day or an hour or two for it just to get it out in my system. You know how they say the alcoholic will stop drinking, but they're still going to crave the taste?
Yes.
That's me. Yeah, that is it. You can stop drinking, but you still crave it. The thing with this is it's an addiction. Work for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's an addiction. Wholesaling, sales is an addiction.
Oh, I love sales.
Yeah.
Sales is an addiction. Once you get addicted to it, you get the itch. You start to make it a profession. And
I got a deal.
I need a deal. I go crazy if I don't get deals.
And he's looking at his email like, nope, no DocuSign yet.
No DocuSign yet. No. But it's funny. But this is how we work. We work from our phones. Our phones are going off, and we work from our phones. So it's a good thing. We never tell people quit your job. If you're not really in it and you're winning yet.
Oh, I'm against that, by the way.
Yeah.
People say, quit your job and go all in.
No.
I did real estate from 2006 till the end of 2008.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a
long time.
Yeah.
Old school
Yeah. So I did it for like 2 years, almost 3 years before I quit my job. And I was in life insurance sales. So I was never sitting down in a desk. Corporate America. I was never into corporate America. So I had the options of going to check out a house, an appointment, doing whatever it is. But then I saved up. My thing was 2 years of my living expenses before I quit. Yeah. And I did more than that just because you don't want, and I see it a lot of times. And like, I see some of these gurus, they tell them, quit, go all in. No, don't do that. Like, you got a family, you got kids to feed. And then when it comes down to your last $4,000 or $5,000 and you still got virtual assistants to pay for and everything, how are you going to operate? You got to have, it's a business. Treat it like a business.
It's not a hobby.
It's not a hobby. It's not like, like I got a deal, I'm good, I'm gonna go flex on Instagram and that. No,
Buy a
it's-
watch.
no, don't do none of that, man.
No.
Like I'll tell you one thing in our business, I want to like talk about this here is I'm very, very huge believer in KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
If anybody sits down and be like, Mo, what do you do with your business? And I'll tell you exactly what our business is. There's no secret to it. We get a list of tax delinquent, divorce, foreclosure, vacants. I mean, I think our list right now is up to probably like, I think we have about 700, 800,000 leads in our CRM. Get a CRM. You definitely gotta have a CRM. Podio, whatever it is, Salesforce. Some people, whatever it is. I used to be a notepad, but then once you get so many leads, you gotta get organized. And then one of my mentors, Joe Dillon, when he sat down with me, at the time I only had Mojo, and Mojo was my CRM. He left at me. He's like, man, you got to get a CRM. And shout out to Joe Joe told me, he's like, go get a CRM. And then that's when I paid the little one, then I got the big one. And then the last time I did my Podio, we spent like $6,000 to customize it to the way that fits our business.
Right.
Are you using Omar?
No. Carson Young, he's out of Utah. One of probably the best.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think I gave him $5,000 or $6,000. And Carson is a Podio nerd genius.
Mm-hmm.
And our Podio literally made our life much, much, much.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually see people on Facebook, like, oh, Podio this and Podio. I'm like, man, get out of here. You don't need Podio.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
Because the automatic sequence,
Yeah.
like we get deals
Follow up.
because, follow up is
Sequence.
number one. I mean, I would say 99% of our deals comes from follow up,
Oh, yeah.
4 months plus.
Mhm.
There is very, very few times lead comes in from cold calling, acquisitions calls it, and we close right away. I mean,
Right.
it happens,
Yeah.
but when that happens, there's something going on or fishy about that deal.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like you gotta like literally follow up.
Yeah.
Like biggest deals comes from 6 months plus.
Right.
So
Follow
do you cold call only? Because Junior asked,
Yes.
do you text? Do you text?
No. I'm actually everybody I talked to now is telling me go back to texting.
Dude,
We
you
used to
gotta
text. We stopped texting. We used to use Roar,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yours sucks now.
yeah. I mean, we used to use Roar. I was texting 10,000 texts a day, and we get a lot of deals. But then all of a sudden, one day it just dried up. Maybe I didn't change my message. I was saying too much.
Yeah, you gotta change your tokens.
Yeah. And I didn't. So then another thing I do, like I said, keep it simple, stupid. And then I went back to cold calling and I went all in. So my operation is this: 9 cold callers, 2 follow-up people, all in the Philippines, by the way. Shout out to my people in the Philippines. I love them guys. They literally run my whole business.
I don't like
Yes.
stupid. I don't like stupid. So we're gonna take it back to keep it simple, son, or
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Whatever it is.
Sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
System. Yes. So
Keep it simple systems.
Yeah.
Simple,
Oh,
simple.
there you go.
Keep it
System.
simple systems.
very,
Keep- There you go.
very simple. Like I see a lot of guys coming in. They're like, "Oh, I want to do this. I gotta get an office. I gotta do this, and I gotta get a COO." And I'm like, man, just get a deal.
Yeah.
Get about getting hiring
Yeah.
COOs and
Yeah.
5 acquisitions guys. I got 1 acquisitions guy, and he's not even local. He's in he lives in Delaware. So we're 100% over the phone. 9 cold callers, 2 follow up, and a manager that manages the whole team in the Philippines.
Yeah. Wow.
Because she hires them, she fires them, she does everything. She manages them, breaks. We do a lot of bonuses, tons of bonuses for my guys. I'm very, very, very big on incentives. You gotta incentivize everybody in our organization gets an incentive on something.
So
Same
what
here.
is overhead? What is overhead for you guys? I say you guys because
Yeah.
I haven't bumped in there, but I want to know. You
Yes,
wanna know?
yes. I'll tell you exactly. So for payroll, biggest expenses buying leads and skip tracing. I skip trace a lot, like because we're always. So I got 800,000 leads, but we're still getting. So in January comes. Actually, December, January, I always go and grab as many lists, and I think we're at a point now. I think we got all the leads in Harris County. I specialize, by the way. I'm only Houston.
Yeah.
Everybody's going nationwide and
Yeah.
this and that. Eventually, maybe one day we'll get there.
He's
But
not
right
gonna
now,
go nationwide.
I mean, everybody tells me you should, but I just don't feel comfortable because I'm using my own money buying these deals. If I buy somewhere in, let's say, Erie, PA or something, Pennsylvania or Ohio, I
You
have
gotta know the
no.
market though.
Gotta know the market,
I do
yeah.
Tampa because I know people in Tampa and I know
Yeah.
a little bit of the market in Tampa.
Mhm.
In Dallas, you get boots on the ground.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, if it's not broken, why fix it? So I mean,
Right.
till this day, we're getting deals, and listen, it's getting tougher to get deals in Houston. Yes,
Yeah.
but I want everybody to go nationwide and leave me Houston. So
No,
you
but
guys all go,
but
go
I-
nationwide and leave Houston
Well,
to
I
me.
was just gonna say that because like
A lot of guys are
people-
going
Well,
nationwide.
like
Yeah.
a lot of people are going nationwide, but don't forget what pays your bills. Like,
Yes,
don't
yes, yes.
stop marketing to Houston.
no.
Don't
Hola,
start,
niña.
stop doing to other stuff because whatever was working, keep doing that and just add to it.
So we
you know?
added different counties now around. Like, when I tell you, I was strictly Harris County. I was strictly Harris County till last year.
I like guys like Mo. Like,
Yeah.
let's keep it in Harris
Keep it
County.
in Harris
Yeah.
So we opened up to Brazoria. I did Fort Bend, Galveston, Montgomery, and we're getting deals in these little
Well,
counties.
see, and that's how it
Yeah.
would be if you go like to Florida, San Antonio.
I think so. Yeah.
And it's the same thing because look, just like you pull a list of
Yeah.
Harris County, you could do it in Dallas and just cold
Yeah.
call it and see
Yeah.
what happens.
I
you
think
know?
because we're so old school,
Old
you
school,
want to
man.
see where your money's at.
And to this day, I want, like, when I close on a hotel, 9 out of 10 times, my job in my business is I go and I want to see the house.
Yeah.
I want to make sure there's no squatters.
Yes.
I want to make sure I mean, I got girls that I can pay $75, runners to take pictures, but I like to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to leave the house and do something because we work from the house. We're all virtual. And like I said, cold callers there. I have a transaction coordinator in Houston, lead manager, and acquisitions in Delaware, husband wife team. They literally run my business. They're like, I would call them like partners because they do everything that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? And because I'm just analyzing and I sell the deals.
Mhm.
I don't really sell them. Pablo and MLS really sell them. But to answer your question,
Mhm.
what's my operation cost? So I just switched a couple things like skip tracing. I just went from using a bigger platform IDI to a different one I'm testing out. So we're saving money on that one. I used to be around like $19,000 to $20,000 a month,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's
and that's cold calling. I mean, that's all virtual.
virtual, yeah, virtual. Because my team,
That's how much I pay now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about, I would say like 19 to 20, but then I cut cost on a lot of different things and we're down to like 15, 16,000.
Mm-hmm.
My cold calling team,
You pay an hour, $5.
no, all different. We start at $4 and we go up, but like we pay a lot of bonuses. So
Right.
we do that. So I would say about 8 to 10 grand to 11 grand a month goes to our cold calling set, which is 9, 10, 11, 12 people. You know what I mean? And I pay way more than what a lot of people pay because, but they're family, they're good.
Yeah.
We treat them like family.
Yeah.
I got one of my cold callers just hit her 2-year anniversary. Everybody's gonna hit their 2-year anniversary and they're with us. You know what I mean? Some people come and go.
Mhm.
It's a turnover machine.
Right.
But once we got a great training or system,
Yeah.
if you don't fit the system, you're gone right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say it's right around 15 to 16,000 on average.
Not
I think
bad.
last year we did the whole year was like about like $230,000 to $240,000 in monthly expenses. I'm never into that 50, 60, 70,000 a month. No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
No.
I can't. I try to run it very, very lean.
I like it, and I like how he runs it.
Yeah, it's like I said, very simple, man. And then my job is to sell the properties and keep an eye on everything. I mean, I might not be there, but definitely I know what's going on, what's happening, what it is, and I love what I do. I don't call it
Work.
You know what I mean? I found my niche. Best piece of advice I've ever learned from somebody that owns about 600 houses back in Philly. He told me, he's like, don't ever become the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yes.
Find your niche, and once you find your niche, become the best person in that niche. My niche is wholesaling cheap homes in the hood. I don't know how to sell houses in Katy and Pearland.
I
And
do.
I don't.
Like,
I
I
really
do.
don't. Like last year we did one in Spring. It's probably one of the nicest houses, and we made about 70 grand on it. I mean, we market there, but very rare we get them. Like I know how to get houses that are messed up, vacant, Airships is our niche.
See, I don't see. We're like total opposite. I'm
Yeah,
like Katy, Cypress, nice neighborhoods. Like I don't like because that comes with the baby daddy's looking for the woman.
Oh, we'll find them. We'll find a baby. I'll find
them.
the Green Reaper 20 feet under the ground. That's the one thing is we deep dive and we like 11 heirs. One is missing. We'll somehow my transaction coordinator and we sit down and we'll find them. We'll talk to neighbors, cousins, under the bridge, whatever it is. And because with airships, you got to be careful. A lot of people, and I've seen this happen a lot. That's why I don't like to buy airships from wholesalers because they'll be like, yeah, this guy is under the rug. They don't, no. And that's fraud. So district attorney will knock on your door real quick. And I've seen it. And I've gotten calls from the district attorney because I was involved in wholesaler deals. You know what I mean? And
yeah, that happens. So we're getting sued for that.
Yeah. So definitely, if you can't find the air, you got to find them. You can't just be like, oh yeah, just keep him off the airship. Yeah. And no, they'll show up.
And like, what air?
What air? Yeah. And no. Like this is 2022. You cannot do any of. I think when I first came in Houston, there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I used to see it, and like some title companies would be like, yeah, it's okay. And now I'm like, no. I like to sleep good at night. I don't want to be locked up in jail somewhere, somehow. And I've seen a lot of people go to jail for fraud.
Yeah.
And I've been involved. There was a guy like 4 years ago came to me. Oh yeah, he's in 77049 all the way down I-10.
Yeah. 3
brick homes. I meet with him. He had it on one of these little websites at the time, 5 miles or whatever.
Oh yeah, 5 Mile.
So once in a while, I used to go in there and see who's selling houses, and then he had an ad for $20,000. I was like, "There's no way." I go see them. We make a deal. These houses were at the time were worth buying them 50, 60. He was like, "Give me 15 each." I was like, "All right, no problem." But I got to use my title company. He was cool with it, and we were using patent at the time. But something fishy was about it. And then I did some research, and the people that owned the house were Indian. And Indian people are not going to sell no houses at $15,000. And so I actually cold called the owner, and I kept asking him, I was like, "What's going on?" And he's like, no. He's like, "They left India, and I found them." I was like, "All right." I literally just Googled the guy, and the guy was a lawyer. So lawyer Indians are not selling no houses at $10,000. Long story short, I literally called the seller, the original seller, but there was a deed that went from the seller to this guy. I forget his name. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I own 65 houses. Why would I sell them for $10,000? And I was like, well, 3 of them were just sold. And then we connected the dots. I gave this guy EMD somehow, some way.
Earnest money.
I had to get a little gangster on him. And I said, listen, if I don't get my EMD back, you know what I mean? We have to get North Philly on you.
He went out Philly.
We're gonna get Philly, and I got my EMD. It was $3,000, $1,000 per house. And 2 years later, this guy was in the news, locked up for fraud. There was some title. I was bad. Sure, a lot of people remember this story, but I'm not gonna mention them.
I don't know. Yeah, because I just had one go to jail for 40 years.
Really?
Yeah, he was sitting in acting as the heir.
Ooh.
And he sold houses to a lot of us wholesalers. I was buying, so that's how I was on that end.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I got involved even with another guy. We're still in court. I don't know if I can probably talk about it. This guy was acting as a title company, it was a fake title company.
Benjamin Usashon?
Oh man.
That's him, brother. Right there. Yeah, one of the guys
gonna start to come out.
There it goes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's Benjamin Usashon. There's no kind of
Chinese
slander.
dude.
Yeah, there's no slander because it's true. And the district
now y'all
attorney.
got me into this.
I didn't know you were involved in that one. Yeah,
I'm involved. The court is like,
yeah.
involved.
So then I started the court case.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so but it took me 4 years.
Did you get your money back or no?
No.
I got my money back.
You did?
I told you.
I'm
gonna send you Philly.
I actually got my money back from him and the seller. At first, I thought the seller was like involved, but long story short,
Were you dealing with Valerie?
Oh yeah, Val Turner is my homie right now. That's how
well,
much
you
I was.
Tell your homie that she needs to pay your other homie.
She didn't pay. No, she didn't pay me. No.
No?
I went to the seller.
Oh, okay.
All I did was I went to the seller and him, with my little piece, and I was like, I don't get paid. If I don't get paid, nobody's gonna be happy. And I was 50 grand.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna take 50 grand.
Yeah,
to
he
the
was
channel.
holding the
Yeah.
dog for ransom.
I went, and it took me a
Poor
long
pumpkin.
time. Actually, Valerie Turner was like, "How did you get your money back?" I was like, "Well, can't tell you how I got my money back, but I got it back."
Can't disclose I got my money back, but I got
But
it
no,
back.
I mean, listen, that's why when I get any deal from a wholesaler, my biggest lesson from that company is I don't deal with Mickey Mouse title companies.
Yeah.
If you come with me with a Mickey Mouse title company, so long story short, this guy was acting as a title company,
Mm-hmm. So
and when I was selling it, the buyer was like, "Listen, man, this is fishy. You guys are doing fraud." And I was like, "Well, don't try to put fraud on me because I'm a very honest guy."
yeah.
And when he's like, "I called the title company and they said this guy doesn't work there." I was like, "What?" So I
That's what
Googled.
happened.
My fault was I never Googled. I mean, I was just like,
You tried.
and it was like I signed the deal. 2 days later, we were at closing. So I was like, all right, it was hurry. And when I met with him, we never met at a title company. We met at some
Sage.
other location. Sage, yeah.
See?
Sage. And then we call up Lineberger, taxes of like 30 grand were never paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, somebody owed me some money and explanation. And then I go to the title company, the real title company. They were like, listen, you're the 5th person that's having to. And it was like,
Wow.
and I was like, it was a house in, the house was in Independence Heights.
Yeah.
So now I own the house that we cleaned up. We got rid of squatters. We did all this work that we owned. There's a deed on it, but we don't have title insurance.
Yeah. No taxes.
No taxes, like 30 grand. And that's when I had to get North Philly on this guy, and I got my money back.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's still going on now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still going
Benjamin, whatever.
Yeah. So Josh is gone. Now we just got to deal with Benjamin. So that's
Joshua Rose.
Mm-hmm.
That's this guy that was selling me the 3 houses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Josh sold them to me.
Oh my
And
God,
he's
the
already
same
in.
guy?
So they might even add more time on him.
Yeah, sí,
You
son
need to talk to
novelas.
Valerie.
Big black dude.
Yeah.
I was added at because I never bought them, but that was the EMD.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you, this was my first year in Houston, so I was like, oh man, I was
Yeah.
like, so this dude, big black dude,
And that was the time he was doing it because ours was 17. Yeah.
oh wow,
Yeah. 2017.
2016. And he was like, man, I'm gonna get you 20 houses. He sent me a house in Old Katy. He wanted 50 grand for it. This house was worth like 200.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I'm gonna become a millionaire overnight.
Yeah.
But then something deep down inside told me,
That I'm not.
listen, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be. I mean, sometimes, listen, we get deals. I buy
know.
houses for like 5 grand and 10 grand.
Yeah.
Once a year, once every 2 years, we get them. But like when your gut tells you something, like if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck, it's a duck. And that guy from day one, I had that gut feeling. And I remember I went home to my wife and I was telling her a story. She's like, she's like, something don't add up.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, it adds up. But when I Googled it, Joshua Rhodes,
Joshua Ware.
Exodus title.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It was
Yeah.
bad. But I didn't close, I didn't buy, but I gave him EMD, and I had to like give him this fake story that I'm a hustler, I'm a gangster, and this, and he really thought this guy like
I'm with the Sopranos.
I'm with the Sopranos. I'm on the witness protection. I came
I'm
from
with the
Philly.
CIA.
I'm on the witness protection program. That's why I'm here. And I literally gave him that, like, because I had to go along with it because I really wanted my few grand. I don't like to lose money. I don't care if it's $10.
Mm-hmm.
Principles is principle to me.
Yeah.
And I hate losing money and getting played.
Yeah.
I literally take it very, very personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you could try to get me, but if I'm going to get you back, I'm gonna have to get you back. And then
Yeah.
I remember at that time, that guy, I gave him 3 grand, and I was like, man, I gotta get my money back. And I just literally I took it. I was like, listen, man, I don't care what you're doing, but all I know is I gotta get my money back. And then he was like, meet me in whatever it was.
Starbucks?
It wasn't Starbucks. No, he was like, meet me at this gas station.
Cheese.
It was literally, I remember it was a gas station. It was a gas station off of I-10 and Turning Basin somewhere. But was
Yeah.
it? That was his area right there.
That's his area.
029 was his area. 029. Oh yeah. Pleasantville. I was
remember Pleasantville.
Pleasantville,
That
yeah.
deal's there.
So we meet at a gas station. He comes in my car, and in my head, I'm like, this guy's gonna probably shoot me in the head and let me go. But he came in. He literally gave me 3 grand cash. He's like, listen, man, I did with a lot of people. Like, I never did this, but he's like, I respect you in this. And I really think this guy thought I was
The Sopranos.
I was the Sopranos or something.
He looks like it. He
He
talks
looks
like
like
that.
I was like, yeah, Tony Soprano's my cousin, but he gave me back my money, and he was like, listen, man, but I'm gonna
Give me
fix
back
the
my
deal.
And he got his money back.
He
I
and I know he got a lot of people in Houston.
Yeah.
He got a lot. I actually still have his number saved, but he got locked up, huh?
Yeah, he got locked up.
Call
I
him,
just
see
went
what
to court.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little.
Go to live.
Yeah, I'm live.
Hey, is there another house you want to sell?
Don't drop yourself. Don't drop yourself in jail. But yeah.
It was real funny though how when I started
Don't
the
drop
case. Yeah, it was crazy because like he was like, I'll give you 10,000. I was like, I don't want 10,000. I want my money back. You know. But he didn't give it to me. So I just said, forget it. You know, my sister works over there at the,
Oh wow.
yeah, over there with Valerie. So then I was like, here I go. So I started it, and now 4 years later, Josh is in jail. But so many people got taken.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people out there. There was some other people that I guess are affiliated with him. Like, that's too much time. No, it's not.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah. Some people still work a whole year to make 30,000.
Yeah.
Some don't even make that. And these people are paying cash plus this, plus fixing it. That's a person's livelihood.
I mean, you got to think about it. It cost him $18
Mm-hmm.
to buy a house.
Yeah.
Which is a recording on downtown.
Yeah.
So he would make a fake deed,
Yeah.
and it's a fake. Don't get no ideas now.
Right?
Go
Yeah,
on,
I
go
know how
on.
to do it.
Fake stamp
Hey, I'm
at
like-
Staples. You know what I mean? Make a fake. And
Yeah.
he,
It was Josh.
like at first they were using notaries, but you don't even need a notary. You just go in and make a fake stamp, order it online or whatever, and $18, and
Yeah.
you get a deed in your name. But it's so stupid because when you go to record them deeds, they take your picture actually
Yeah.
and your ID and everything. So I mean, Philly. I know in Philly, there was tons of fraud,
Yeah.
tons and tons and tons of fraud, and a lot of people went to jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when I get a deal from a wholesaler, I always ask, "Areas, what's going on? What's happening?" And then they look at me funny, and I tell them, "Sure, listen, just lay back, relax, give me the contract, give me the owner, and we'll make sure everything is right." Because some of these owners lie too.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
do. Well, that's
Yeah.
Some
what
of these
happens
owners
to
lie too.
The wife was dead. They planned out the
They did a
funeral.
funeral for the wife, and the wife was still alive.
Oh wow! No.
They're
So
becoming
people,
savages out here.
when it comes to cash,
Yeah.
so
That's what it
especially when you wholetail and you're using your money or private money,
Mhm.
you want to make sure you're like it's legit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and till this day, we do. I mean, like, we get a lot of contracts,
Mhm.
especially because of we're targeting vacants, dead, airships, taxes. We'll get a lot of contracts. They're not the right people, and they'll sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, we get it. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, we don't get a lot of canceled contracts. We do, because in this little market,
Mhm.
we'll call on Michael Johnson. And, yeah, Michael Johnson, this is your house. Oh, yeah, this is my house. And come to find out, it has nothing to do with it.
Oh, that happens to
Yeah.
us all the time.
Oh, it get
No,
it
they
get
get us where they're like, yeah, go to the appointment, and we're like, oh yeah, like bring the contract. And I showed up, and I
Yeah.
knocked on the door, and it wasn't even them.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even.
And then I called the guy. I'm like, hey, what happened? He goes, just like you waste my time,
Oh,
I'm wasting
yeah.
your time.
Yeah.
They
I
trolling.
know. I was like,
Yeah.
dang it.
So we used to get a lot of trolling with text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons I kind of got away from texting, is because they were like, yeah, sure, we got a house, and they play along. And a lot of times you don't talk to these people. It's
Yeah.
straight text them. And we send a contract, they'll sign it. And then once you get there, you'll find out, like, you'll show up to an appointment, and the real owner is there. And they're like, what? If you don't leave right now, I'm going to call the
Yeah.
cops on. And it happened to me a couple times, and I was like, all right. So with texting,
But I was like, you know where I'm from?
Tony Soprano. No, but it happens with texting a lot, even with cold calling. So we used to get a lot of that, like a lot of like trolls.
Mhm.
It's part of business. It happens. I mean, we get contracts and then we just close them out. But so before we send our contract to the title company, my transaction coordinator kind of does her own little research.
Yeah.
Well, we do an SOI. We send out an SOI with the contract so they can
Mm.
fill it out. And
SOI?
they the statement of information.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did. So
That's the title company.
number one I ask for is get a copy of their driver license. If they don't give you their driver license and the SOI, because as for
Yeah.
your social,
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, if they don't give it back to you, you got a
You
fake.
got a problem.
You got a problem. So we do
Mhm.
that, and then going back to like wholetailing.
Then we went way out.
Wait,
the subject,
well,
right?
I know.
Hey, but it happens.
We're
It
doing
happens.
fraud
Damn, we
investigation.
Yeah.
We went from freaking
Wholetailing.
hotel to fraud. I mean, you learned it all here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That is so funny.
So, but I mean, going back to wholetailing, so I get a lot of guys that come to me. Listen, I want to start my wholesaling business. What's the best way of doing it? The best way is get in your car, drive around these areas I'm telling you about, 016, 028, 029. So, I mean, I used to call it 021, 020,
026. If you go to 026, just stay strapped.
I'm gonna play bumper cars with you.
26 and just drive around right down to vacant lots. Vacant lots is a big business right now.
Yeah, lots
Vacant
are
land.
good.
Lots are very good. Independence Heights, everywhere.
I didn't even know, but they're really good.
Like, go and I did this. Until this day, by the way, if I'm driving around and I see a vacant, I'm still going to write it down. I don't care how many deals and how much money we make.
One time we bumped in a house like, Mo, is that you?
Is that you? Right. Do that. That's the cheapest way to make money. You don't even got to buy lists. You don't even got to skip trace. Virtual assistance is nothing. Go get 1,000 vacants, 1,000 pieces of land.
Yeah.
Spend the whole week. I'm talking about like, don't do it like, oh, I feel like I'm doing it for an hour. No. Treat it like a business. Like, wake up on Monday, get in your car at 9 o'clock in the morning and drive till 5, 6 o'clock at night. Take a lunch break. Do it again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Take the second week, and you don't got skip tracing, no problem. Do what is it called? Find people search.
Fast people.
Fast people.
Fast people.
Like I pay for services now, but I think fast people search or find people search or whatever. You'll get some numbers. Are they accurate? No.
Not all the time now.
You can go on batch, skip tracing, whatever it is.
Batch leads.
Batch leads.
That's what I use, batch leads.
Batch leads. You can go to IDI. You can go to
I used to use
Versium.
IDI, but it's a little pricier.
It is pricier. It is pricier, and that's why we got rid of them right now. So go there and then take the last 2 weeks. So take 1 week to organize. Go on HCAD. Go on this. You got 1,000 leads. Now you got 2 weeks to call the end of the month, and I guarantee you will get leads. And that's how I started my business here. Yeah. I bought leads instead of, I've drove around and I did it. And then, believe it or not, till this day, if I'm driving to an appointment, we don't really go out to a lot of appointments, but if it's an elderly person with no email, no technology, my job, because all my acquisition guys are like virtual. So I'm literally the only one, me and my transaction coordinator, the only one that earn in Houston.
Yeah.
If I'm driving to an appointment and I see a vacant, messed up, high grass, no mailbox, whatever it is, I'll write it down and I'll send it to my lead manager. I'll say, skip trace it, have Ben, my acquisition guy, call them up, and then they'll call. And once in a blue, we got a $70,000 or $80,000 deal last year or 2 years ago from driving for dollars, from writing it down. We called the guy up, and the guy was like, I'm actually not thinking about selling it, but if you want, I'll meet you there. He's like, he answered the phone. This was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I'm lying. And the guy was like, listen, I'm here cutting the grass right now. So if you want to make a deal, meet me here.
Cut my grass. Hey, come finish cutting my grass.
He's like, and literally, like, because we've been calling him. I got the lead. Come finish. I told him, I was like, yo, don't cut the grass no more. I'm coming. I live in
Hey, that is a good way to get started.
Don't cut the grass
for free.
Right?
Like, you want to make a deal? Come finish cutting my grass.
So funny story. I swear to God, I'm in Cinco Ranch. That's where I live. And this guy was in 028. It was in 028 over Wayside. I was like, man, I'll be there in an hour. He's like, you better hurry up. I might not be here. I remember I got on the I-10, got there as he was packing up. And I was like, how much you want for the house? And he was like, man, listen, I'm going on vacation and I need for 6 months, a fishing trip, whatever. He's like, all I want, if you can give me 25 grand for this house, I'll do it. And it was a brick home. And I was like, 25 grand? I was like, how much do you owe in this house? He was like, no taxes, everything is paid. And this guy was taking care of this house. Yeah. It wasn't even a messed up house. Yeah. And I was like, deal, let's do it. I was like, if I give you 25 grand, but he's like, I don't want to pay no. He's like, I want to get 25 net. And we do net deals with a lot of sellers, but sometimes it's scary because you pull title.
And the taxes, they owe another 25.
Or they owe an ambulance or whatever. So I was like, you know what, no problem. Something. So we did it, 25 grand. This guy was a clean title and he was live. So there's no airship. And I remember we got title back in 2 days and I called him. I was like, listen, man, this was on a Tuesday. I was like, we can close that Friday. And he didn't believe me. He was like, there's no way. I was like, man, come Friday. But he's like, man, I got to get some stuff out of there. There's a lot of trash inside. I was like, listen, the beauty about us is we're buying as is with the trash. He's like, I got this TV. I was like, everything. Because it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
We made sure it was the right guy. And it was a legit deal. We go to closing. We give him $25,000. Cost me like $2,000 to close.
Yeah.
27. And he wanted to get his stuff out of the house. I gave him a week. I was like, go in, get whatever you need. And the guy was very happy. He was very, very happy with us. And then I wholetailed it and we sold it. We ended up selling for $100,000. And we made 73 grand with closing costs and everything, 73 grand. And it was a driving for dollars deal. So if you're out there listening to this, go driving for dollars, get some, text them, call them, door knock them, whatever you want to do. Go get the tax delinquent. Christina might say, don't do that. But tax auction list.
No,
There's deals there. Listen, there's about, how many wholesalers do you think are in Houston?
Oh man,
2,000-3,000 maybe now.
Yeah.
Very saturated.
Everybody.
We love you all, but we're saturated.
Very saturated.
But,
and I would say I don't consider myself a huge company. There's about 20 to 30 some companies that are doing $1 million plus, big offices, 50-60 grand a month in expenses. There's at least 20-30 of them here in Houston, if not more.
Yeah. Right.
So, and we still get our deals. We still get deals. They get deals. She gets deals. Everybody gets deals. I mean, it's
there's still room. Go ahead. If you want to do it, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, there is.
But just to kind of piggyback on what he was saying on the driving for dollars, you don't even have to go driving for dollars no more. There's an app called like Deal Machine.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Google Maps. You route your area, so zip code, and it actually tells you if it's vacant or if it's absentee owner. It's really cool. So you can do this right out of your computer. And you too, like on Google Maps, like when I'm looking up at a property, I always like to look at the area through Google Maps, and you'd be surprised you see like a house that's messed up. They just get that address. So you could do it a lot smarter. You don't even have to do it like still get deals, but it's time consuming and it has to be consistent and persistent with it. Like you can't just do it for 1 hour.
No.
But if you were to do it that way, you can find
a
deal.
It's not a hobby.
It's not.
Yeah, because you're like driving and looking, and you're not even like driving. You save on gas. It's all in the computer. So it's so much easier to find a deal nowadays. It's just you got to put in the time and the work.
Yeah, and if you find a deal like that, you can always reach out to reach out to any one of us.
I'll buy
He'll probably buy it, and then we'll probably work with you.
You want to like he does.
Yeah, you want to learn how to do it. Once you get through it, it's just repeat, contract and repeat. That's all it is.
And another thing, I know, like 2022, it's Guru Central in our space right now. And listen, I've paid mentors 10 times. I've paid mentors probably over $100,000, and I never regret it. I've learned every time I go to these things, I try to get 1 or 2 nuggets, and it always helps.
Yeah.
Every single year. So this year I haven't done anything. I'm gonna do something with mentorships, masterminds. I'm in different masterminds. I network with a lot of
Houston mastermind.
We need a Houston mastermind. Actually, Andrea and I are working on a meetup just for this.
Oh, nice.
Not the drinking, not the beer, just this.
Yeah.
Get your ass there, sit down, and let's go.
We're gonna have a cafecito.
Yeah, just bread. Coffee and bread. We usually do that. Coffee
and brownies.
And gummies. But so like you should do that. But if you're starting off and you have never done a deal, don't pay for. Go on YouTube University.
Yeah.
And just get a deal. Get 5 or 6 or 10 deals, and then
you become a guru.
Then become like, oh man, I see it all the time, and guys come to me all the time, and they were like, oh, I did 3 deals, and now I'm doing mentoring. I'm like, you're paying for? No. I'm a mentor. I'm like, oh god. Yeah. So I mean, like, I would love people be like, oh, you should mentor other people. I don't have.
We don't have the patience.
This guy will kill you if you don't listen to him.
No.
I said,
no, because at one point our time becomes money,
And I'll tell you this, I'm very big on family. 5 o'clock at night, when my kids get home from school and everything, I want to be on my couch with my kids. We do softball and baseball and basketball. We got so many activities. I can't, like, that's another thing about me. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, we don't see you at these events, networking event. I can't because I got 3 kids and my why is my family. I do this for my wife and 3 kids. I want to give them the best life that I can because growing up, I came from the bottom. Like, my family, we came from literally the bottom. We struggled. We ate cereal from a big bag, and you know what I mean. Like, I had no brand new sneakers. Hand-me-downs was a thing. So vacation never ever. I don't think I ever took. I mean, we did when we used to live back home, but here we became there was no vacations, no nothing. Work. I worked in the family business since I was like 14 years old. So I struggled. So I do this. That's my why. Is my kids. I want to give them the best they can. Built them a pool in the backyard. I mean, I don't want to spoil these little brats, but till this day,
I see your pool.
I know.
It looks like you're spoiling them.
I know. But I want to give them everything and create memories with them. So that is my why, and that's why, like, I did the networking events when I first came to Houston. To me, it's great. Go meet all these guys. But a lot of these people, like, look at these deals. They've never done a deal. Yeah. So I don't want to be networking. So I still network. I use Facebook to meet all amazing wholesalers and investors. Like, a lot of guys I respect and I see on wholesale and on Facebook, and I'll reach out to them and be like, listen, man, we need to hook up and do this and that. You know what I mean? I used to never be into that. I was locked in my house doing my thing and just on cruise control. Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? I need to come out there and, like, see what everybody's doing, like see what Andrea is doing, Wilney, Chris Silva, a lot of these different guys that are Ricardo Rosales, and just see what everybody's doing. Right. Because you get so bogged down in your own little shell. And a lot of times, honestly, I'll be like, man, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Because we all go into a slump. Yeah. Like, we go into a slump. I think right now, I'm kind of in a slump where my pipeline now is full. But like a month ago, we were like, everything we owned, we sold. Yeah. And we have nothing for sale, but we're still working on titles. So I was like, oh man, what's going on? The market, and it happens.
Selling radio, start selling things.
Start selling radio.
Hey, my pipeline's looking dry.
Oh, my boy Chris is listening. He started doing radio in Corpus, and I was like, man, just cold call, man. And people doing like all kinds of crazy things. And I did PPC last year in Houston, and it didn't work out for me. Spent like 30-40 grand on PPC. And we were getting a lot of leads, but 0 deals. Everybody wanted retail. And retail. If you want to do PPC, I think you got to do Texas. Why? Not Houston. Houston is very expensive. No. And so then every time I try something new, I come back to cold calling. I try something new.
Well, I never left cold calling. Like, it was.
No, we never left. Yeah, exactly. I want to add, like, I want people like, oh, you got to add different avenues. And I see people doing, like, I see a lot of people not going back to direct mail. TV ad. No, I mean, that's expensive, and keep it simple.
For systems. What I do for direct mail, I like to direct mail people that showed interest that are in my pipeline that we can't get a hold of. I direct mail to them, and then we get a response, because direct mail could be very expensive. Told me they want to sell, so then I'll just do like a direct mail campaign and send them, like, twice a month. So that's the way I kind of do that for the direct mail case. Some tips there, because I know certain people do direct mail, but it's like everybody, and it's like I want to see that they have some interest in selling.
Yeah, I pluck them. I got to make sure I really want it, and I just go for those.
And I like what Christina does with the pre-foreclosure. She does that. Like, you don't want to direct mail pre-foreclosure. You don't have time for that. So you want to make, like, you do the door hanging.
Yeah, stuff. I do door hangers. So I'm actually going, but I'm not knocking. I'm door hanging because I feel that everybody's like, that's so damn expensive. What if they throw it away? Well, at least I know they touched it. I don't care. And it didn't cost me 50, 60 cents.
But you won't knock the door while you're there?
No, if I see somebody there, I will.
I used to door knock personally, pre-foreclosures and tax foreclosures, and it's scary.
Yeah, I door knock.
But I'm gonna tell you what, I've gotten the most deals doing it that way. Yeah. I mean, and I used to go door knock like after work when this is in Philly, and I used to go door knock like between 6 to 9 at middle of the night in the hood.
Oh no, that's dangerous.
And believe it or not, like at first, because I used to door knock for life insurance.
Mhm.
So door knocking was
Yes.
never.
Yeah.
I started my whole book of business in door knocking, so I was never afraid of door knocking or cold calling, any of that stuff. But there was times where I door knocked the door for like test for auctions, pre-foreclosure, and they'd be like, "Come in." I'm like, "Oh, they're about to like get me," and I would go in, talk to them, and come out with a contract.
Yeah.
Like my mentality was to door knock and get a contract, not just to like get your number. I'll come back at a better time. There is no better time. They got no time.
They're right there.
They got 2-3 weeks
Mhm.
of losing his house, and you'd be surprised. People are nicer than we really think they are. And I'm gonna tell you something, like Philly and Texas, people are way nicer in Texas than the East Coast. So when I first came, I used to door knock, and people were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we're not interested." I'm like, "All right, okay, very nice." So I used to door knock a lot of tax auctions,
Yeah.
but I felt like foreclosures you can find people, but tax auctions, most of them are vacant.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know what I mean? So you got to find the owner. Anyways, yeah. But no, that works as well.
You know what we should do? We should do like, let's all go door knock and do like a
Oh,
live,
yeah, no.
so you can see what it's like to door knock.
Get a bus. Get a yellow bus.
No,
And
no,
go door
not
knock.
a yellow bus.
Pull up 30 people to the house. Like, hey, listen,
Yeah,
we know you messed up.
They're just here to watch.
Don't mind them. Don't mind the camera guys and everybody. We want to buy your house.
We're
No,
be
yeah.
like, we work well. Like, I like to approach like pre-foreclosure, letting them know, like,
Yeah.
because they think like, oh, you guys are with the bank, and we're
Yeah.
like, no, we're the ones who fight the bank.
Well, actually,
So-
when I go in with my financial company, which is Global Financial Lending, and
Ooh.
everybody wants lending.
Yeah.
So when I approach them, they're already looking at me like, okay, yeah, she's here to help me. So then I give them the 3 options. Do you want to, sell it? Do you want to sell it to me and stay and live in it? Or do you want to try to get a HELOC? So I work with one person that does the HELOCs, which is Esperanza. Then if not, then I just have, me that I go in and I do all the different kind of stuff.
Nice.
So that's what I do. So then I match
Christina has a lot of options.
yeah. So then I just put it on the table.
OG
This is
of
what you
Houston right
got.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you got. And last night I was talking to Junior on the phone, and I was like, I got my flyer back, because I had a flyer that had like the Texas sheriff's thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had a veteran go and look for me, and bitch, I'm gonna kill you. Oh, beep.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you. That's wrong. I fought for this world, this country, and you're over here trying to represent and bottom feeder. I heard it all. I was like,
Bottom feeder.
yeah, I'm gonna put this. My husband was so mad at me because he was driving by our house, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I did, and he was like, don't be doing that shit no more. So I was like, fine. So then now I was like, well, I think things cool down now.
And
I was like, I think
you
it cool
always learn
down now.
something new from
Right.
Christina.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna tell you, if you do go door knock, what I do is I go to the neighbor. I go to the neighbor and I said, hey, Mr. Rodriguez here.
He's losing his house.
No, I didn't even say anything. I'm
No,
gonna
the
say,
neighbor losing him.
Rodriguez.
Give me his number.
No, I'll play the real stupid role. Oh, is this 4116? No, this is 4118.
I
It's
know,
right there.
like-
Well, do you know him? And how are they? Are they still there? I start
Oh,
getting
wow.
the info from there. Well, do you mind going with me?
Oh,
And so the neighbor
$20.
goes and knocks.
Come on down.
Yeah.
do
Oh yes.
you mind getting the contract for me?
Yeah. Hey, so and so. She's
Hiring the
looking
neighbor
for
as
you.
acquisitions.
That's it. And hey, you have to soften the situation. We're already.
Oh Lord.
Oh shit! What did you do?
Gotta put that
We
tree.
had the horrible day today. Our sign fell on us. The air conditioning thing
Oh
went
my
crazy,
God, that
and
is
now her
funny.
phone. That's Destiny. You get it? Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but
Yeah, guys, but it was very interesting. We went all over, and that's the thing about us. Like we say, we go all over. You better go ahead and have your handy dandy notebook out. Like I say, boop-a-doo. You got to get it together. Find good CRMs. If you are the person that has to have somebody to work with somebody that's actually doing it. Don't
Yeah.
just try to create a new team, because the blind can't lead the blind. It's
Yeah.
not going to work. And then one's going to depend on the other, and one's not bringing the value that the other one should be. So work with people that are doing things. Bring deals. If you've got
Yeah.
deals, bring them to
we can
anywhere. There's
analyze
a bunch
them.
of us.
We'll help you guys analyze.
Yeah,
whatever.
analyze. If you ever bought a house from Benjamin Oostershon, Joshua Rhodes, please take that. Please go look up your title. and probably be able to get some type of, compensation back or something while things are going on, especially if it's your home and you were a victim of that fraud. And the reason why I say is there was 319 homes that they did. For him was 3,000 a home. For them, probably over 3 million.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, you really have to see what's out there, and don't take it personal when somebody is calling someone out, because these are our warnings to you.
Yeah.
We're going through it. And so remember, I want to really tell everybody and stress about it. Like Mo said, go and search things. If your stomach hurts, you ask Dr. Google. So if you want to start a business, ask Dr. Google.
Go to YouTube.
They
have all the answers.
There's videos, but don't over-educate yourself that you
what's that called? Analysis paralysis or whatever?
Analysis paralysis for sure. But yeah, you really want to, self-educate, and get some of that in. So you at least have a little bit of questions that people like us can answer. If you come up here like, whoa, what do you want to know? We got to go, and it's not to be rude. We're really on a time crunch. And with that being said, I really want to thank you, Mo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You guys saw that he's a busy man, so
very busy.
It was very nice.
Very
that
busy.
He took the time to come out here.
No, thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed it. I mean, these two here are fun people to hang out with. So,
we're the Cinco de Drinko couple.
I know, that was fun. We need to definitely hook up again.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Thank you for having me.
All right, and Mo, if anybody wants to contact you, they can contact you where?
Wait a minute, I don't want people
Facebook. I don't have Instagram. I don't got.
We'll
whatever.
make them one. We'll make them
Yeah,
one.
everybody always tells me to get it, but no, I'm not on Instagram. But I'm eventually gonna have to do it. But you can on Facebook send me a message, add me.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, like they were saying, anybody has any questions, you need any help, any guidance, I'm always open to help everybody.
Yes.
Any way I can help. And one thing I'll leave you with, and we'll end with this, is the only way to learn how to swim is you gotta jump and you can't jump into 3 feet water. You gotta jump in the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to learn how to swim is you gotta jump in the deep end. And with this business or any kind of business, you gotta jump in the deep end and just take the step, take action. Don't just keep going to these networking events and being friends with all these wholesalers, and it feels great. I mean, listen, there's Facebook success and there's your bank account success. Facebook success, I see a lot of that. A lot of people, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. No. What's your bank account? What are you closing? What are you cashing? Bank account. That's where it is. So
right.
thank you.
Bye, guys.